Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the Young People's Money Podcast. I am your host, Liana Chow. With this podcast, I aim to normalize having open and honest conversations about money amongst young people, which is important because at the end of the day, it's how our world goes round. Today, our guest is Jeson, an old friend of mine from high school. Hi, Jeson, and welcome.
Hey, nice to be here. Happy to have this talk with you guys, with you,
Yeah.
and for people to listen to and hopefully learn stuff from. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So let's get right into it. Question number 1: How did you grow up, and what was your family's relationship with money like?
It was interesting because I grew up after fourth grade here in the US, but before that I lived with my grandma in the Philippines. But in terms of like what money was like for me, I don't think it was ever really a problem. Like if I wanted something, I would tell my grandma or my mom and they would just buy it for me. So it was a weird thing just having everything you wanted all the time. But in the Philippines it was kind of interesting because I was kind of surrounded by poverty. Like it's just this weird thing where I live in a kind of a more rural area where we were kind of well off, but everyone around me was kind of less wealthy or not as fortunate. And I could see that, but I don't think it's hard to empathize with something you don't really you're not going through. So
Yeah, especially as a kid.
exactly, especially as a kid, right? You don't have that empathy yet. I mean, a little bit. You're kind of forced to. It's like, how come they don't have the video games that I have? And then my grandma would be like, well, that's because they need money for food and stuff. So it gets it going, but I feel like it's not till later on that you really understand what they're going through.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys pretty much had everything that you needed,
Yes, exactly.
right? So do you have a good relationship with money? Rank it from 1 to 10.
Man, it's better now, but I'd still say it still needs improvement. So I wouldn't give myself a passing grade. So let's say like a six or something.
Okay, so like a D minus.
Exactly, like a D minus, because almost a seven, almost a seven. We're getting there, but yeah.
Okay, what makes you say that? Like, why wouldn't you give yourself a passing grade?
I think I just need to. I don't know. I just need to be better about not spending. I think at the end of the day, I think I'm keeping track of like what I'm spending on, and I'm seeing like, okay, that's what it's for. Would I not spend on that to have more savings? And I'll be like, I don't know though. Like that does mean a lot to me, or that is something that like is important to me. So yeah, I think just being better about that, just being like, I guess part of the reason I spend so much is like I have so many hobbies. Um, and I think part of that is like I don't think you could balance all those hobbies at the same time anyway, right? So you shouldn't I shouldn't be spending on guitars and gaming stuff and car stuff and other stuff, cooking stuff, foodie kind of restaurant eating out at restaurants all the time. Because you can't really balance all those at the same time. It's just not possible, right? Like if you do the math of how much time you have in a day, right? There's 24 hours, you sleep for 8, you work for 8, so 16, you have like 8 left, you have to shower, eat, right? Gym. Then it's like, how much time do you really have in a day to kind of do stuff, you know?
I'm curious about one thing, and that is, do you think that growing up when you were able to have like all these video games and like basically all the things that you wanted in your childhood, do you think that as an adult you kind of like go into it with the same mindset, like you want something, you get it?
Yeah, it's weird. It kind of ties into like that golden child kind of thing, right? Like I was an only child growing up and like everyone just kind of supported
Oh,
me.
that probably helps.
Yeah, exactly. From my
Yeah.
teachers to my family, my friends, like anytime I wanted to pick something up, they're like, "Go do it, you could do it." Photography, it's like you could do it, you could do it. And then I just try it, and then
So supportive.
exactly, everyone's so supportive and
Yeah.
I kind of so I blame them for my not having a larger savings but no, but seriously, like, yeah, I think it is that. And so I kind of have that same mindset where it's like, if you want something, go get it, which, um, I guess is nice, but it's not nice for your wallet.
Not nice for your wallet, yeah. And the thing is, I kind of grew up like, I guess similarly in that, I did have everything I needed. Like if I wanted something, I would ask my parents for it. But then at the same time, I feel like there was like this like air of like scarcity where it's like,
Mm,
you have to save money and like we can't go
mm,
on these expensive trips. Like I mean, I had enough, but it wasn't like exorbitant abundance as like
right,
I saw with like some other people and like my friends and stuff.
right.
And so growing up, I like developed a shopping addiction because I'm like, damn, I hate having to like put restrictions on myself like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just want to be able to like buy whatever I want. And
Right.
so my childhood, where there was some scarcity, resulted in resulted in a shopping addiction, and then your childhood, which sounds like was full of abundance, also resulted in a shopping
Yeah, I
addiction.
know. So it's like
So
what beginnings end in a way where you kind of are better or just kind of have a naturally healthy relationship with money. That's funny.
yeah,
Um,
who knows?
and it's funny because like so my mom and dad, like I lived in a house with my mom and my dad and my grandma. So my dad's mom, and so everyone kind of pitched in, and money was never really an issue. And it
And
was
everybody worked.
everybody worked except for my grandma, but she got like like money from the government. She's old. And then but there was this weird thing that happened where right before college, my dad just gave me a credit card. What a power, right? It's
What?
it's under his name. So
Okay.
I never get to see what the hell happens with that money. That is a
Trust.
weird thing to have, right? Because my dad is amazing. He's taught me everything I know, how to be a man, how to be a good person, values, morals, all of that. He did not teach me about money, you know. His kindness is like he's very strict and the typical like Asian dad. He's like works with his hands and like he's very strict, but he's also very kind. He'll take the clothes off of his back for you. He's that type of guy. He's never taught me money though. He just says like like as long as it's not like crazy or whatever, like if you need it, that's his thing. It's like if you need it, buy it. Right? If you need it, buy it. So he's taught me that. It's like, okay, I don't need this. I'm pretty good at that. But also because of all my hobbies, it's like I need this. I think I need this. It's
I need this for my hobbies.
like how am I gonna play guitar without an electric guitar? What the hell am I gonna play? Like I'm not gonna make one out of cardboard with some strings, right? I need a guitar.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so he gave me that credit card. I don't see the balance of it. Like looking back at that now, I'm like, what the hell? That's insane, right? Because part of the reason that kind of like we have this. We were talking about it. We have this budget now, right? We both have a spreadsheet, and you see the money that goes into it. Also, when you log into your bank account and you click that credit card, it shows you pending. You're like, ooh, wow, I spent a lot this week, right? You're like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, just imagine like being able to spend but not seeing that. And so, I just bought stuff I needed, like groceries, food, and whatever. Every now and then go to the movies or get some boba, stuff like that, right? But then there was this weird thing, not weird, but like you add on to that my parents got divorced right when I left, or right when I went to college. Then money for the first time in my life became uh a tighter thing, a more strict thing. And so first it was whatever, like I would just buy whatever, and then eventually my dad would be like, hey, like it's like it looks like you spent kind of a lot this week or this month, we're gonna need to like kind of tighten that down, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, I try, but like I didn't have the tools or anything, to kind of like figure that out. And it was kind of sad just hearing my dad like, talking about money in a way that I've never heard it before.
Yeah, and I think Asian parents like they try their best to like make us feel like we're provided for. Like our Asian parents might not say they love us, but they will like give us all the money that we need. They will cut us fruits and shit and like
And
that's their way. That's their way
yeah,
of showing it. So basically you're saying, that scarcity around money was introduced after the divorce, right? Like it wasn't like really a
right,
thing
right.
before.
It wasn't really a thing. I'll tell my mom like, hey, been getting good grades or whatever. Like, can I get this video game? She'd be like, yeah. Or if I needed a thing, like, yeah, my mom like went out of her way to get stuff for me, kind of a tangent, but like I needed a coral pink bow tie, right? For prom.
Uh-huh. Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, you remember. And
Uh-huh.
then she is so like persistent. Like I'm like, did you find anything? And she's like, no, I went to this place, this place, this place, but I'll try again tomorrow. And then eventually she found it for me. So yeah, like that's just how I kind of grew up, and scarcity wasn't a thing that was introduced until it was too late, and I just didn't have the tools, and my dad didn't really help me with that.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, you grew up with such abundance. That sounds amazing, to be honest. And like, it's an only child thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Like, one of my friends is an only child, and like, I feel like she kind of grew up similarly and like kind of has a similar mindset to the younger version of you, I guess, where
mm-hmm,
it's like there's a lot of it, it's like no object. I actually lived with her in when I was in college at one
Oh.
point,
Oh, that's
and
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and her security deposit was $1,200 for her
Uh-huh.
half of the apartment.
Uh-huh.
And like basically at the end, we were like moving all our shit out, and she had to like get rid of her mattress. She didn't want to like call anybody or like do anything about it, so she was just like, "Hey,"
I'll
to our
just pay it.
landlady. She was like, "Hey, hey landlady, can you help me get rid of this mattress?" And the landlady was like, "Yeah, I can, but you have to give up your entire security deposit." And she was like, "Okay."
Oh my.
And I was like, you literally gave up $1,200 for the landlady to get rid of your mattress.
You could pay people to do it for cheaper, I guarantee you.
I know,
It's so
and
fun.
yeah, and so it's just like, damn, it's just like that only child mindset.
Right,
I'm
right.
not saying that you're like that, but it's just like an
Right, right,
example
right.
that
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
of.
It's like
But
not dealing with that. What? That's funny.
no, it's really funny though. But yeah, like I think pretty much everyone that I've talked to on this podcast so far, like has like at least one sibling, and so it's really interesting to like hear a different perspective from someone who grew up as like the center of attention
That's
in the
true.
family.
Yeah, I didn't it's weird like thinking about the only child thing and like I think I have one other friend that's an only child and I think I was talking with someone they're like how many like it's like there's not many only child. I'm like I'm an only child. David's an only child. He's like who else though? I'm like wow. I'm like yeah, it's not really a thing and I think especially now, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
like on top of that, you're a boy. You were a boy,
Mm-hmm.
and I
You
think
were a
that's like
boy. Oh, I
you're
guess
a
I'm not a
man
boy anymore.
now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. I'm not
Yeah,
16
but
anymore. Sorry.
yeah, you were a boy, and like that's like a big thing in like Asian families, especially. I think was it a
Yeah.
big thing in your family? Is that a big thing in Filipino culture?
I think it is. I think it
Yeah.
is, honestly. Which is really weird. My dad wanted a girl.
Oh,
Because I think so my dad's so interesting. God, this is turning into the Asian trauma podcast,
childhood
but
trauma
childhood trauma and
discussion.
childhood. But I guess it ties in, so it makes sense. But my dad grew up as like the kind of the clown, right? Like the super popular, like everyone knew him. Like I went to the Philippines to visit, and then they're like his nickname is Sunny. They're like, is that Sunny's son? And then in my head, I was like, how the hell do you know? Like, like I haven't talked to you. You're just going off of how I look. What the hell? Anyways, he was just like super popular and stuff. Groups would like gather around him, and he was a clown. And like in high school, they had to go get like pails of water or whatever, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was really
When I
far.
was your age, when I
Exactly.
went
When
to
I
school.
exactly. And so they had to like go really far, and then my dad would wait by the gate, right?
Yeah.
And then he would wait for someone that's like just getting to the gate, and then he would be like, "Hey, I got that for you," right? And so
Mhm.
he would get it off of them, and then he would walk it to the teachers and be like, "Here you go," like you know what I mean, like kind of smiling, like "Yep, I did that." When in reality, he just waited by the gate, right? Like that's the type of person he was. He was like a goofball, like the popular kid type of thing. And then when he had me, he changed. He like completely changed. Like he was very like mature and he found a job right away. He like focused on learning English. He's very good with his finances. Like he has cabinets of stuff. If you ask him PG&E bills from 3 years ago, he has it. Like it's really crazy just hearing about my dad from other people and being like, well, that's my dad, really?
Yeah, it's wild because they were whole ass people before they had us.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like your dad really like took the provider type of role where
Mhm.
when he had you, he was like, okay, it's time to get fucking serious. Like got his shit together, got a job, everything. Like, do you feel like some like a desire to like kind of emulate that when you
Mhm.
become a father? Because like I know you want kids eventually.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's so like, there's a touchy topic, but like, I think every relationship's different and like, like gender roles and whatever, like it's
Mm-hmm.
like you can it's how you want to, have your relationship, right? Like that's what I
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
support. And but me and Yeez leans very traditional, it seems like, not because we're forcing it or anything, but it does seem like that. So I think, yeah, I think when I do have a child, I'd probably follow in the footsteps of my dad. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. What is or are your source or sources of income? What lands in your bank account monthly?
Yeah, I work, so I get a steady income from that goes up. I guess once a year from raises. Um, Before I started working, or when I first started working, I would like I did photography a lot, and so people would reach out to me. So every now and then there'd be a random 200, 300, 400 that I would add on to that paycheck because I shot
Like per
someone's
session?
graduation photo. Yeah, per session kind of thing.
Nice. Okay.
So that was cool. Um, monthly. It is about 5,400 after tax. So like 2,700 every 2 weeks.
Okay, and then what is that in like annual salary?
Annual, it is exactly 100K. So six
Oh,
figures.
nice. Hey, congrats on hitting six figures.
I know, right? It's weird. It's like a thing, but it probably means less now than it did before.
It
You
definitely
know,
is. It's
like
low income where we live. It's low
exactly,
income.
exactly.
So, RIP. But so you said it goes up every year consistently, right? Like that's a guarantee?
Yeah, it's God, I hope my no one from work is watching this, but it's pretty good. It's like, I would say at least 10K and like a at least 10K a year. Um,
Nice.
and it's
Shit.
just because like every time you move up in position, you kind of get a big raise, but also because there's like three disciplines at my job. It's mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and I'm kind of holding down the fort by myself for plumbing. The senior that helps me, he's like half-time, and then everyone else in each discipline, there's like four people plus the team leader. So
Yeah, so you're a plumbing engineer.
yes, yes.
Okay, and then what does that entail just for people who don't know?
So plumbing, um, a plumber is someone who like fixes plumbing stuff. A plumbing engineer or designer are people who design plumbing. So plumbing is anything that has to do with piping or stuff like, okay, so in a lab setting, it's like the compressed air. For all the equipment would be plumbing, vacuum. In hospitals, it's like medical air, oxygen, all of that. For apartments, it's designing the waste, the water, the venting, and all that. And so that's a lot of coordination with architects and owners and asking them what they want, selecting fixtures, planning piping in Revit and AutoCAD, making sure that everything is coordinated with all the disciplines. And it's kind of crazy because um, you know, before I started working at Interface, it's like you kind of take for granted what goes into a building, period, right? Like structure, acoustics. Sometimes there's like a roof consultant.
A
There's
roof
a roof
consultant,
consultant.
a roof
Exactly.
guy.
A roof guy.
Okay.
There's a roof guy. There's a landscaping guy. Within the landscaping guy, there's an irrigation guy. There's a
Mm-hmm.
civil guy that has to work with everybody. There's the architects. There's fire protection, electrical, plumbing, telecom, which is like internet and like technology and all that just to make sure one building is working well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you have to do math for your job?
I
Like do
do
you have to do
actually. Yeah,
equations?
I do. I do math. Most of the time it's like simple math, like adding up
Like
kind of.
addition?
Yeah, yeah. I would say addition will get you pretty far along. So it's not too heavy of a math, but I think it's more of the problem solving. Like what happens if all you have is a 3-inch pipe, but you need 4 inches to make the flow work based on what you calculated as your gallons per minute of your flow for waste or something, right? And what do you do for that? So it's just kind of like more problem solving than it is math, but
Do you have to do like fluids equations and calculations and stuff like that?
surprisingly no. Like it's weird, right? Like that's like you would expect that, but we kind of have like spreadsheets for everything, and it's more so like accounting for different factors, and then it just like kind of calculates it for you. It just knows
Okay.
what how that equation works, but I don't have to actually like, plug and chug like I did back in college.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask like how much of your job is like, plug and chug and like solving equations and then how much of it is like correspondence? Cuz the reason I ask is because some people who graduate with engineering degrees, their entire job is correspondence, aka me.
Mhm.
That's literally me. And I'm thankful for it, but it's just interesting how different jobs in this industry are so different in these ways. So, what's the percentage split?
Hmm. So plug and chug is maybe like 10-15%, but then there is like 45-50% of it is like engineering designing. and
Okay.
40% is like correspondence and like emails and presenting stuff and all that. Like I think on
Okay. That's pretty
Thursday,
even.
yeah, it's pretty even. On Thursday we um for Joshua Tree, a project for Joshua Tree, they wanted me to study the idea of reusing rainwater and stormwater and gray water. Gray water is waste from hand washing, as
Okay.
opposed to black water, which is, from poop and stuff. There's nothing you could really do with that except treat it in some like really robust treatment thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, reusing gray water and rainwater, stormwater to water the plants, but also to reuse it for like flushing toilets and urinals. So they wanted to see how much that would cost, what the infrastructure would look like, what the equipment would look like, and stuff. So that was, I would consider that kind of engineering and seeing what we need with pumps and how the piping would work and the equipment skids and stuff, how big they are, and do they need to be enclosed, or the equipment like outdoor rated and stuff, and then relay that to NPS, which is like Natural Park Services, and kind of see what they think of it. So I would say it's
Yeah.
like 50-50, 60-40 type of thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that is really cool. And like, you're totally right. Like people will totally take advantage or like not take advantage, but take for granted all the things that go into, these regular things like, flushing the toilet and washing our hands and all this stuff. Which actually leads me to my next question. How many hours do you work a week and do you like your job?
Um, so some weeks are like 50, some weeks are 30. I'd say it evens out that I do work the typical, 40 hours, not 95, 8 to 6 with like an hour lunch type of thing. So like a very standard it's a very standard schedule until it's not. Like you have a Friday deadline and everything's hitting the fan and you have to finish two projects, and mechanical hasn't told you something until last minute, like, hey, we need condensate drain or something, or you forget
Yeah.
to tell electrical, shit, I need power for this, and now they're scrambling. So it's very standard until it's not. And do I like my job? I actually do. Yeah, actually.
Hmm. Yeah, that's freaking awesome because I remember, okay, like I've known you since you were like what, like 17, 16, and like
Oof.
even
Yeah.
then even then you loved engineering. Like I remember you taking like an AutoCAD class or like
Yeah, that's right.
something like that, and you just knew like so early on, and that's very cool. I think it's great that you chose the right field. You were like so spot on that because most of us when we're like 16 we don't know what the fuck what the fuck we
No,
like or
for
like what the
real.
fuck we're
Yeah.
doing.
And there's
So
some people like our age that still don't know, and that's like not to like make fun of them or anything, but like people figure it out at different times.
mhm.
So I was kind of lucky to kind of, dude. It was weird though how I stumbled upon it. Was like I took AP Physics,
Mhm.
and then like it was kind of difficult because I didn't take any physics. Right? People were
Yeah,
like, they were like, you need to take regular physics, then
AP
like
physics.
AP Physics. I was like, no, I could go straight to AP. They're like, yeah. And when I took that, I was like, okay, now I gotta do something with this because I didn't just go through hell for this not to do anything out of it. So yeah.
AP Physics was so fucking rough. Like
Oof.
I don't know if it was just the teacher that we had or like if it was just like butt fuck hard, but I had a really really hard time in AP Physics. And then after that, I was like, even after I got a 2 on the AP exam, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do mechanical engineering. Let's like
That's
fucking do
funny.
this. Like, what the fuck was wrong
That's
with me?
funny. That's funny. Did you have any signs that you were going to be an engineer like young? I could give you an example. Um, when I was young, my parents would buy me a lot of toys, aunties and friends of family would give me a lot of toys. I just love toys, right?
Hmm.
And I would just break them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, or that's what people thought at least. My grandma called me the destroyer. I was like, what the hell? Because I would just break stuff. I would like rip apart arms. I'd start taking stuff off. And then they would compare me, right? A little toxic, but not too bad. A little competition's good. They would compare me to like some cousins and stuff. And they would be like,
Typical Asian
yeah,
behavior.
exactly. They're like, man, I shouldn't name drop. But there's like, this guy's doing like, he's so kind and he's so proper. Look at like he just sits differently from you and he never destroys anything and stuff, right?
Uh
Fast
huh.
forward now.
You're a fucking
Um,
engineer.
exactly. And I shouldn't, yeah, never mind. Yeah, let's focus on that. Let's focus on that part. Yeah, let's just say I'm doing a little bit better than him, a little bit better. He's not doing
Okay.
he's not doing horribly or anything, but we're doing a little bit better. But it's not,
All
I'm not
right.
saying that's like typical or anything, but I'm just saying like maybe it wasn't because I was breaking shit. I was generally curious how stuff works. And to this day, like a guitar. I had to like solder some stuff and kind of do some things. I called the guitar shop. I was like, hey, how much to do this? And they're like, 120. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. And then I
Oh.
looked at some videos like this shit's easy, you know, like
Hmm.
I just still kept that mentality of like just tear everything apart and then you'll probably can still figure out how to put it back together type of thing, you know? And so that
Yeah.
kind of told I guess there was kind of signs early on that I was gonna be an engineer and just taking the AP physics class was like that catalyst, you know?
Yeah.
Did you
Well,
have anything like that?
yeah. Well, first of all, there is no satisfaction like the satisfaction you get when you do better than someone that your family compared you
Oh,
to.
please. Yes, I know, right? And like, I don't, dude, guy was the nicest dude ever, so I don't want this to be a win, but more of a win against my grandma who kept calling me the destroyer, man. I was
Yeah,
learning, you
exactly.
know?
Yeah. Who cares what you think, Grandma?
Exactly. Yeah. I love her so much.
um,
She's in the Philippines. I haven't seen her in a long time. Hope you're doing well, grandma, if you're seeing this somehow.
yeah, so to answer your question, so that actually sounds really similar to my dad when he was younger. So my dad's also an engineer. And that's part of the reason I chose engineering as a career
Oh,
path,
wow.
just because I knew that, he did it. But although I was like, I don't even know. Like, there's this meme on the internet where it's like, you guys, I don't know how much longer I can pretend to know like what engineers do. Like, I don't know. Like, my dad's an engineer and he just like goes to work and comes back. Like, I don't know. And so yeah, and so that's like it felt like kind of elusive because I had like no idea what my dad was doing, but I always looked up to my dad in that way. And he kind of had like this whole like, rags to riches, not exactly like super rich, but he kind of came from nothing, and that was always very admirable from my perspective. But like, he grew up in Vietnam, and he like every time he would get a toy he would like fucking break it like that, just like you. And like
Mhm.
I think like there was a time where like he was gifted like a fan for his birthday. It was like either like a paper fan or like an electronic fan, but
Uh-huh.
within like 10 minutes he just like it was
It's
all
unscrewed. Yeah, it's like wires and yeah.
yeah, it was all gone. And like he would get in so much trouble. But like now he's an engineer, and he doesn't even have like a college degree, and he
Oh,
was able to
wow.
make
Yeah.
make a career out of that.
Yeah.
And like support his family. And so when I was 13, my parents sent me to this college prep academy, and they forced me to take an aptitude test. And the funny thing about this aptitude test is that I was 13 and I took it and I failed it. And so there were no like career matches for
Wait,
me because
what?
I was too fucking stupid.
Wait,
Because
what?
I was 13. And so they were like, okay, there must have been
Okay,
like a.
I'm sorry. That's not part of. Sorry to interject, but that's part of that is not your fault. Like you can't design something like that to with the result in mind. That's no results. Like you can't design a test like that. Like that's devastating. What?
No, exactly. And I was just like this 13-year-old girl, like trying my best on this fucking aptitude test. And like the questions, like it was like kind of like an IQ ish like
Mhm.
style test. And like, there were the rotating like 3D shapes, like which shape is the same as
Oh,
like
dude,
this
those are the
initial shape.
best. Yeah.
And then there was also like an English section where they tested your vocabulary. And these
Uh,
were like big words,
what the
like
hell?
words that
13.
I still like wouldn't know, like long, like at least 10 letter words. And like I'm like, what the hell is this? And so when I took the aptitude test, like genuinely I failed it. There were no results. And so they were like, okay, this is like a little weird, I'll have you retake it,
Oh
see
my
what
God.
happens. And so the second time around I'm like, okay, well I better cheat on this. And so I fucking cheat. I
Oh
fucking
my
cheat
God.
on the aptitude test.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I finally get some results, and the top results are engineer and teacher,
Oh
which
wow.
is really funny because I love teaching, and I'm like pretty good at it. I
Yeah.
would say, like I would say that when I was a math tutor, like people really
Mm-hmm.
people saw results, like my students saw
Right.
results,
Right.
and I really enjoy it too. And like that's part of the reason why like I became a personal trainer, because I just love teaching, and it's very rewarding to me.
Right.
But
For sure.
I saw the engineer result, and like I
And
knew
that like triggered stuff. It's like a butterfly effect. Like,
I
oh
don't
my God,
know,
that's
like
hilarious.
I guess I knew like teachers were dirt poor, and like I like unjustly so, but like I grew up with this scarcity mindset, like you have to make money, you have to make money. And so
Mhm.
I was like, okay, well engineer sounds like the most lucrative profession that I could pick.
Yeah.
And so at a mere like 13 years old, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be an engineer. And so basically, like I was since I was at that college prep academy, like they kind of forced me to, or they, I mean, I use the word forced, but like really, like it wasn't even that dramatic. But my parents did force me to, fall to like build a high school resume
Yeah.
surrounding my intention to major in
Right.
engineering. And so
Interesting.
like they made me join like the robotics club, even though I fucking hated it. And like they made me go to these engineering summer camps, and like so my entire high school resume was like catered,
It's
to
interesting.
my to ultimately applying
Right.
to these colleges with the engineering major. And so like there was a point I was like 15, and I was like talking to my counselor, and I was like, hey, I really don't think I like engineering, because at the time I really liked English and like writing. And I was like, I really don't like engineering. And she was like, okay, you can do astronomy. And I was like, wait, where did this come from? Like, it was just kind of like, I don't think she wanted me to, like, drift so far away
Yeah.
from like the STEM field and like
Yeah.
just do something completely opposite. And like, I also think that like the mindset at that college prep academy was just like, you have to do STEM, you have to go into an Ivy League. Like, it was very,
Mm-hmm.
very like formulaic. And so she probably knew that my parents weren't going to be happy, like, if I, switched to
Wow.
like English
Yeah.
or something. And so she was like, okay, astronomy. And I was like, I don't like astronomy. And so she's like, okay, engineering. And I was like, okay, engineering. And so
What? That's
that's that's
a cold,
basically
dude. What?
that is the story of why I'm an engineer, like dead ass.
You got you joined a cult that forced you to be an engineer.
No,
You
seriously.
try
And
to
like
leave. You try to leave. You're like, I'm gonna leave now. They're like, you don't want to leave.
yeah, and I was
You want to
like
leave into astronomy, right? And then you're like, no. And then engineering it is. You're like, what?
yeah, and so basically the whole reason I'm in this industry is because of a decision I made when I was 13 that I couldn't back out of. And
Oh
I
my
mean, it
God.
was like, I mean, it wasn't like totally against my will either,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like I went to college thinking that, I didn't need to have this joy and fulfillment in my career, and somehow I would be able to find it in a job, in an engineering job. But now, that I'm older, I realize that will never happen. And so I'm just trying to like, come out of this industry. But I'm grateful for it, at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time, because it means like me surviving this 4 years of college, like doing this, getting this degree, and like, doing this job. Like I know I have a very high like frustration tolerance. And so it just makes me feel like I can do anything, if I can do something I hate this bad for this long, you know?
What a moral, what a
Yeah.
lesson. What was I gonna ask? Oh, 13. So was that before high school?
Yes, it was in eighth grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Like, I think if I had gone into English, I wouldn't have any money.
Right, right.
That's kind of the main thing. And,
Are you
um,
you don't regret? Are they in your house right now? Blink twice. Are you still?
blink twice.
Yeah, is that what they want you to say?
No, but like dead ass, like I'm 24 and I make six figures. Like, how many
Right,
people can say
right.
that?
No, for real.
And so it's pretty cool. But I know I can't do this forever.
Yeah.
But it was good to to be rich for a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, so question number 4. I totally took this conversation away from you. Question number
Oh,
4. So you get your paycheck. What do you do? How do you spend your money? What's the breakdown between necessities, leisure, and savings?
gotcha. And don't worry about like taking that part over. Because when I was looking at the questions, I'm like, am I just gonna answer all these questions? And, like, I hope it's more of a conversation. So
No, it is. I promise.
okay, I'm glad. As opposed to an interrogation. Um,
How much do you make? How do you spend
is,
it?
is dude, it's funny, random. We're working on a project for like Oakland where it's like a security department kind of police headquarters thing, and there's
Hmm.
like interview rooms and stuff. And
Oh
in the
shit.
interview rooms under like the mechanical and electrical plumbing like engineering portion, it's like designed for like anti-ligature, which I don't know
What?
what that means. That means like so they can't kill themselves with anything in the room. Same with the bathroom. Like we have to
What?
specify different like labs like hand washing sinks and like toilets so that they can't kill themselves. And there was a
Oh my
picture and I'm like,
god.
this is the shit from the movies. You know, it's like, what do you know? And then they'll like slap them around or something. I hope that's not what they do there, but I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting.
Crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the interrogation. I mean, interview. You get your paycheck. What do you do? How do you spend your money? Um, I don't think so. I don't think I guess my spending doesn't change before or after the paycheck, but it
Mm.
is nice the way that the spreadsheet is set up that I made. It's kind of it resets, right? So then I have like this budget. I input the things that I spend on throughout the week and it subtracts from that number. So as I'm writing the numbers down and I put a note on Google Sheets, then it automatically subtracts. And I have it to where it resets on Friday because Friday is when I get paid. So
Okay.
the good
Some
thing is
programming.
exactly. Yeah. So when the paycheck hits, it's like, oh, nice. I'm the paycheck hit and I reset, which I guess is what makes the most sense. The breakdown between necessities, leisures, and savings don't really have one. I guess it just calculated. It's baked into that. Like because you spend this much, this is how much you will save based on your, your subscriptions, your like insurance and rent and all that. This is how much you save. And then necessities and leisure is kind of it's a week to week thing with me. Maybe it shouldn't be, but it is a week to week thing. It's like what is my necessity this week? You know what I mean? Do we eat less? Do we eat more? Do I spend on guitars? But weekly I shouldn't spend more than 400 a week. That's everything. That's well everything except like rent and subscriptions and stuff. But like
Yeah.
that's everything between groceries and gas, food, and anything else that I would need, like if I want to buy a new t-shirt or something.
Okay, got it. So, in terms of like bills and necessities, like how much is your rent? Like how much do you pay for like all that stuff that's necessary?
So rent is about I want to say 2K. That's parking in Daly City is 150 a month. And so there's one that came with our apartment, but since we took it, I kind of just did some math to where we kind of give the rest of the people in the apartment the other two kind of money back, right? So
Hmm.
that equivalent to 150, and then we have another parking spot that's 150, but it comes out to like 2,000 with like bills and stuff. I think it went up a little bit, but me and you more or less split it in half.
Okay, so you each individually pay like a little over 1,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then we know how expensive groceries are these
Yes.
days. Fuck. So like when it comes to groceries, like like how do you guys do that like as a couple? Because for me and Josh, like I buy my own groceries, he buys his own groceries. Like we don't share. But I know some couples like buy groceries together.
Yeah, we definitely buy groceries together. We mostly eat the same thing. I think that's the
Yeah.
key part. I never thought of that, but that's the key part of that. Like, if one of you really like eats completely differently from the other, I'm not saying you or Josh do, but if you
Hmm.
do eat completely differently or like you just prefer different things, it just makes more sense, I guess, to just kind of buy your own groceries. But we eat the same stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, she's kind of getting ripped off because I eat more. Um,
Yeah, a big boy. But it's convenient, right? Because you guys both kind of have like a similar like gym health routine, and you look kind of like the same foods.
yeah, we're kind of like attached at the hip and stuff. It's weird, man. We kind of just
Oh,
do everything. Yeah.
that's fucking cute, man. I love that. Yeah. So do you like split your groceries in half as well then?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I think we do kind of account for like the I guess inequality, whatever the word there is, that I eat more. That I just kind of take on the subscriptions and stuff. And dude, it doesn't sound like much, but it adds up.
Yeah.
YouTube TV, Hulu Premium, YouTube Premium,
What the hell
Disney
do you need
Plus,
YouTube TV for?
YouTube TV. You
Yeah.
do you know about YouTube TV? YouTube TV is the most clutch thing I've ever seen, bro.
Really? What is it?
So I watch a lot of sports and like, if there's Grammys are on, Oscars are on,
Mm.
if there's like it's basically dude, direct TV that you could or Comcast, you could do anything like on your phone, on your TV, you could like AirPlay it or whatever that shit's called. And then yeah, like if it's football Sunday or whatever, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, as long as I have my data, I could watch football. I mean, me and Nee have been really into football, so there's that
Okay.
basketball and stuff. It's TV on the go. Like if younger me would be like, what the hell is this contraption?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, if you like sports, then that totally makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, without the sports, I don't know. I guess if you like watch TV shows and stuff, but I guess that falls under every subscription.
Like
Like, so,
streaming.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys have like the regular like Hulu, Netflix, like all that stuff.
yeah.
Spotify. Got it. Nice. Okay, and then how much do you put away for savings on average every month?
I think the math bakes out to be like 1.2, 1.4K or something. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then is it like a retirement account or like a high yield savings account or anything like that?
Um, no, it's just my bank account.
Oh, oh
No,
my
but I
God,
do.
Jason.
I know, but I do have a. Yeah, obviously I have a 401k. They make me get it, right? You get a job,
Hmm.
you have to have a 401k. They do this weird thing, kind of a tangent, but it's like a they don't match, but at the end of the year they do a profit sharing. I guess there's people who get match and they get profit sharing,
Hmm.
right? I don't know what you get, but um so it's like I think at the end of the year I got like 3.5%. So it's almost like they match the whole year for 3.5%.
Not bad.
Yeah, which is not bad because I guess it's pretty cool because like if you're putting a really low percentage or contributing like minimum or nothing, you'll still get that 3.5 because it's not dependent on how much you're contributing.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. My employer match is really shitty. I get okay, like let's say I contribute the maximum amount that I can contribute, and keep in mind that 401k, like I think the standard is like $19,600 that you
Mhm.
can contribute for everybody. My company, no matter how much I contribute, the maximum they will give me at the end of a year is $250. Period.
Wow, that makes me not want to contribute anything.
Yeah, and so that's why I haven't put anything in my 401k because I feel like my money is better outside of that right now.
For sure. Yeah. And this
Yeah.
is weird. I have this weird view where I'm like, I don't know how much longer I'll live after 65. I live,
Me too.
I'm like, am I really gonna live that long? I'm at 26 already, bro. Like you're telling me I'm gonna live like 50, 60 more years? I don't see it. Knock on wood, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess the positive there is, oh, I guess I shouldn't touch on that unless you want to, but I want kids, right? So like,
Yeah.
I guess the positive would be like my money would go to the kids if I were to pass away. So
Oh yeah, that is a really good way to think of it. For sure. Like for me, like my beneficiary would probably just be my sister, but she's literally two
mm.
years younger than me and she doesn't exercise, so hell we
She
might
doesn't.
we might die at the same fucking time.
Oh
But
my God.
I have like severe health anxiety. Like I just have like anxiety in general, I think.
Mhm.
It's like probably I have like probably like a lot of undiagnosed mental disorders.
I feel you. No, I feel you.
um but yeah, no, I like have pretty bad anxiety about like my personal safety and like my health and stuff, and like as soon as like I feel a sharp pain in my chest, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm having a stroke, I'm dying. So
Just something you ate coming back.
yeah, no, like I totally relate with what
No.
you said about like will I really live that
Mm,
long.
seriously, like we drive every day. That's like the
Yeah.
most dangerous thing you could do. You know what I mean? Like you never know, man.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so $400 every week on leisurely things like eating out and like random shit that you buy.
Yeah, and stuff that I guess you wouldn't be considered leisurely, like groceries or like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's
would fall
groceries are in
under
there.
that too. Yep.
Okay. Well, if you put groceries in the $400, then that like really just lessens the amount that you're allowed to spend on like
Exactly.
fun shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Um,
Yeah. Have you ever regretted spending money on something?
not directly, but I guess I could explain that. I bought like this thing for my car. It was like a radar that kind of like beeps when like a police is nearby or something. Yeah,
What are you doing that's illegal?
not illegal, just just slow down a little bit
Yeah.
when the police is near. So that was like $500 and it was dope. I loved it.
Okay.
And this is when I was living with me and Davis, and we were out for something for like a couple of days or something. We get back, right? And I guess I forgot to unlock my car because like the battery was dead on the remote. I should have fixed that, right? Engineer, how did I just leave that? I guess engineer is procrastination too, but so I like sometimes I forget to manually put in the key in the door and lock and stuff, but it was under a cover because it's like there's a lot of leaves and Daves and stuff. And so someone took the cover off and checked if it was unlocked and then took the radar thing.
Bruh.
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck, that was $500." So there's stuff like that, and in me, like um, like paying for stuff, helping her pay for stuff with her car before that got stolen. I guess it's more so like, damn, well, I guess we shouldn't have done that since the shit got stolen anyway.
Oh my god, that is so frustrating.
Yeah. Um, but whatever. Maybe there's a yeah, there's a lesson baked in somewhere in there, but regrets. But in terms of stuff that isn't stolen, um, I think that's one thing I'm pretty good about is like,
Not regretting?
yeah, not regretting just because my dad was like, buy it if you need it. It's like, in a movie where it's
Mm-hmm.
like it like starts echoing and it's like, buy it if you need it, buy it if you like I think that like that kind of stuck with me because that's one of the few things he taught me about like kind of just money and savings kind of thing. So I think I'm pretty good with like making sure that like this is the best thing that you want. This is the price point that's good and you're gonna make use out of it. Why not get this thing? So like the moment before like a big ish kind of purchase, like I have 20 tabs open. I have notes, pros and cons, and spreadsheets of like why this one's better than the other. What
Uh
does
huh.
this one have? Will it be obsolete in the future? You know what I mean? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty good with like not really regretting something that I buy.
You know what? That's a flex because pretty much everyone I've had on this podcast like at least regretted like one thing.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
love that. No regrets. No regrets for you.
What about you,
Um,
man? I want to hear this.
Me? Oh my god, no. My answer was clothes. A lot of
Oh,
cheap polyester clothes that are so
mm,
ugly now.
mm.
So, yeah, definitely. What was the biggest thing that you've spent money on lately, and what was the biggest thing you'd ever spent money on?
Oh wow. Lately, well, I play games with me. We play like Overwatch. I got her like a little laptop thing to play games on and it did its job for like 2 years and which is good because it was like $400. It was like a cheap laptop, but it like it was had decent specs and stuff. And then it just something just blew up. Not like
Huh.
not like not like a
Well,
yeah,
obviously.
not like oh shit like it's a fire, but like turned off and then there was like a click, like something popped
Mm.
past it or something. I don't know. But so then we started looking at stuff and then got her a computer that someone built on Marketplace. Um
Okay.
I guess I don't have anywhere to answer it or like contribute this information on the questions, but like one thing I do is like I never want to buy anything like MSRP. It's like a
What is
thing.
MSRP again?
Oh, MSRP is just basically like retail price, right?
Mm.
Like I know someone has what I need somewhere out there and they're desperate to sell it, right?
Hmm.
So I think I've saved like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars like not buying anything like brand
Retail.
new. Yeah, exactly. From graphics cards, wheels, whatever. Obviously you take the risk of not being able to return it, right? And like if
Hmm.
it breaks
Yeah.
or whatever, but like I just have like a few rules on Marketplace, right? It's like they got to have a profile picture.
Bare minimum.
Exactly, bare minimum. They gotta have a good description, good photos and stuff. But other than that, like if you know what you're doing, you could save a lot of money. But yeah, anyways, the biggest thing I spent money on was like a updated graphics card because mine's kind of old, so I could like play the games with me and have a more enjoyable time instead of stuff like just freezing. And that was like a $500. I bought that like yesterday. Brand new though, they sell for 1,400 on Amazon. So
Wow. Holy shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't return it if something explodes, but yeah, I had to ask the dude. I was like, "Hey, I know you probably got it from someone. I just want to make sure they didn't use it to mine Bitcoin, right?
Oh
Because
my god.
people buy these crazy. They'll buy like 10 of these graphics cards, and when like crypto was like really going up and it was crazy, this graphics card came out. It was like $600 or something. It jumped up to like 3K. Like
No.
yeah, and people were just like buying them and reselling them, so you can never buy it for retail price. And then they would put like 10 of them on a rig where it's like an aluminum like bracket type of thing and stack them all together and try to mine crypto. So that's the like I had to like watch out for that to make sure that the graphics card I bought wasn't used to mine, crypto.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is a really, really good place. Like I always flex to everyone that I got my couch for
Yeah,
$75.
dude, it's the chair I'm sitting on right now. I also got for $25
Hell yeah.
last night. So that was cool.
Love to hear it. So that was the biggest thing you spent money on lately or the biggest thing you've ever spent money on?
Oh, lately. Ever what? $500? I wish. That'd be crazy. I have so much more money right now. Ever spent money on was a kind of like a impulsive buy during COVID. I feel like that's a lot of
Uh-oh.
people, right? You're getting like this weird like free money and stuff from the government, and then you're just kind of bored, and then you can't go anywhere. Dude, I don't regret this. I bought a car cash, like just
Oh shit.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's just like randomly looking for cars because like Nee had her little manual project car, and I was like, I need one too, man. I'm like, this sucks. Like Nee has one, and then I don't really have one, and I don't want to make her mine, you know.
Hmm.
Well, she's mine, but I don't want to make her car mine. Um, so yeah, I got my own. I got like this like rare like Lexus that's like a manual and stuff. So it's fun, and to this day, like I'm still like working on it and hasn't been stolen. Knock on wood, but I should do something about that, like install like a kill switch or something. Um,
God.
but yeah, that's the most I've ever spent money on, like just like flatly at one time.
Hmm. Okay, how much was that?
I was 6,000.
Okay. Oh, that's how much my Invisalign cost.
That's
New car or straight teeth? I don't know. You pick.
hey man, the straight teeth last forever, kind of.
Only if you wear your retainer.
That's true, dude. I need to fucking wear mine. Yeah, I think he got like LASIK recently. I think that was like 4,000 or something.
Oh my God, is it? I thought LASIK was like $1,200. I've been telling everyone it's $1,200.
I think it's 3 to 4K. Yeah,
Oh my God, that's devastating. That's horrible.
1,200's amazing. Maybe a few years ago or something. I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah.
changed.
I
Um,
think I think from like a few years ago, or like maybe with insurance or something.
I know, dude. Bad genetics cost money, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm kidding.
um, I'm like every fiber of my being, I'm like trying to resist getting a BBL. Like,
That's so. Hey man, like there's pride in being natural, but also like there's like cons to that and stuff, right? Like you got to keep getting it done again or something, or it could pop or
um,
some weird shit like that. Did you do your
no,
research, man?
I think. Well, I've done moderate research
Okay.
just out of curiosity, but not
Uh-huh.
like seriously because I want to get it. But like they give you a liposuction, so they
Mhm.
remove the fat from like your back, your arms, any like stomach
The
fat.
places you don't want it. Uh-huh.
And then they just like shoot it into your butt and like
Shoot it into your
basically
butt.
and like basically if you like don't eat well or like if you don't like exercise for like a really long time or something, like the fat can like you can like lose all that fat and then
Wait, what? Is that backward? That sounds so backwards. Why is that? So if you don't eat well, you lose the fat.
I feel like if you don't like eat enough and then you just like
Mm.
lose a bunch of weight, like
Oh shit.
it's just gonna fall off your butt. And then
It's
if you
gonna
like
fall off.
like if you eat a lot of like unhealthy food, like you're just gonna gain the stomach fat back. And so there's like some
Yeah.
maintenance, there's like a maintenance aspect to it, but the main reason I don't want to do it is because like what you said, the pride about like being natural.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like you just lose all credibility, especially as someone who works in the fitness industry, if you have
Yeah.
like a body composition surgery like that. And
Yeah.
also you
Body
can't sit.
composition surgery. That's it's like, how'd you
Yeah.
get that butt? So I got a body. Just throw them off. They don't even know it's a BBL. You just use big words.
Yeah, and so also you can't lay on your butt for like 3 weeks.
Wait, what?
Deadass.
Yo, I have so many questions. Like the whole butt. Like, how do you like use a bathroom? You gotta like stand on top of it.
Yeah, I think you gotta like
Yo,
fucking like squat or something.
oh my God.
But yeah, I just like I
It's like
really.
tense. You know when you get tense and you can't roll your windows down for like 2 days.
Yeah.
You're like, what's a BBL like? It's like intense, man. You gotta like, let it sit there for a little bit.
No, I didn't know that about tints actually. I thought it was just like a sticker. Like,
It is, it is. It is. It's
yeah?
basically just like a little sticker.
How come you can't roll your window down then? If it's
So
just a
for the
sticker.
first two, you gotta let the adhesive dry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a normal sticker like peel and stick. It's just like a very like wet sticker.
It's like a wet, like vinyl. I think it is vinyl. It's like a vinyl wrap thing with like an adhesive on one side. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so we kind of got off topic there, but yeah, that's why I don't want a BBL.
Nice.
But yeah, okay, so your car was that the really like bumpy up and down one
The
that you
bumpy
gave
up
me?
and down one.
Like, the
No,
one you modified.
no, so that car was actually like my first car that I used for like college and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah, I
And
put
then
mhm,
why was it bumpy up and down again?
bumpy up and down. Oh god, I hope there's car heads watching this, and then like they're watching, they're like, he lowered it. Yeah. It's lowered. So like you put coilovers, which is like suspension stuff to lower it,
Uh
and
huh.
then you're closer to the ground. You have a lower center of gravity. You can turn faster with less like body roll. Body roll is when your car is really high up. Imagine like an Amazon truck, and then you turn really fast, right? The top of the car will just tip over. Well,
Hmm.
you bring it lower to the ground, then there's less of that, even like a level that's like not noticeable. You feel it. You could like kind of turn faster and handle better. The cons is
Mm.
you feel the road because you're closer to the road, and also there's less travel in the suspensions, meaning like it can't drop any lower really because you're already so low. So when you're in a regular car, right, there's like springs and stuff, and when it drops, it absorbs that energy. So
Right.
like you're not really feeling it. Here, you kind of feel everything. I think I could get it a little more like tuned in so that it doesn't feel like that. Because the Lexus, the other one, it's about the same height.
Hmm.
It's lowered, but it doesn't feel like that. Yeah, that one. I don't know why that one's so stiff.
Okay. I think I understand why people mod their cars now because I'm like, why do you want to be so close to the ground? Because like you always see those videos of like people like driving up like a driveway and then the
Sideways,
back of
yeah,
their
dude.
car
Yeah.
just like fucking like scrapes
Hmm.
against the
Hmm.
concrete and it's like so like painful to watch
Yeah.
and hear
There's a
as well.
certain point where it's too much and you're not getting too much out of it. It's like a rite of passage and like a coolness thing now, right? Because like I don't know, like I feel like getting buff is like for your health and stuff. But there's a point where like the muscles on top of that don't really do anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like I
Yeah.
just need to get as big as humanly possible now, right? It's like that. I need to
Yeah.
get low as like I need a piece of paper to scrape the underside of my car, right? Like,
Oh god. Do you wish you made more money? What would you do with the extra if so?
of course, dude. What do you wish you made more? What would you do with extra? I guess just have more savings and just have more money for stuff that's coming up. I'm
Hmm.
26 now, 30 is on the horizon. What's 30 kids, house,
Are you 27 this year? You are, right? In October.
27 in October. Yeah, dude. Why'd you have to remind me? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, definitely. Just have more. I don't think my spending would change, but definitely I would have more money in the bank just for a rainy day and stuff. But um, and just the events I feel like it's coming really soon. So
Yeah. I want to talk about like lifestyle inflation. Have you heard that term before?
lifestyle inflation, no, no, please enlighten me.
Yeah, so it's basically like when, say for example, you make $50,000 and you live in a studio apartment, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden you get a raise and suddenly you're making like
Oh, okay. Yeah,
70K.
that makes sense.
And
Hmm.
instead of like moving or like
Hmm.
instead of
Hmm.
like staying in your studio apartment and just saving more, you move into a bigger
Exactly.
apartment.
Right. And so your savings don't change. Your
Yeah.
life does. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so um I like I feel like I've kind of like, succumbed to that a little bit just because like I know before I got my raise, like I was living with my parents. I mean, I fucking hated it there. Like I couldn't stand it. But like the thing is, I wasn't making enough to like, even afford like a studio apartment. But
Mm.
I wanted like a one bedroom because I still
Yeah.
think the idea of like living in your kitchen and like sleeping there is like a little gross to me.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so I was like,
yeah.
okay, maybe this apartment is like a little bit out of my budget. And like the truth is I don't regret it. I like having the one bedroom and like
Mm.
I like hosting people and so it's nice. But I'm afraid that maybe I'm not saving as much as I should, which actually prompted me to make this podcast because I'm like, hold on, I want to see what other people are
Mm.
doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna
So
watch
yeah,
those
like
other episodes, man. Yeah.
yeah, oh my god, do you feel like you would succumb to lifestyle inflation if you got a raise or
Yeah,
like
but
when you get a raise?
that's so tough. I think I am. I want to say I'm pretty good about it, and I think
Mhm.
I guess it depends when, right? Like when are you giving me that? Like if like alternate universe type, is it right when I started working or now? I think now, like it's like that's like Spider-Man, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Like
Mhm.
I think I have the tools now to be better with that power. But I think if you gave it to a younger version of me, when I first started working,
Irresponsible.
exactly, yeah, like I don't think that that money is gonna disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I guess in the past year, like you got like a raise because you
Mhm.
said that you get like annual raises. So it was like an extra 10K, right, on top of what you used to earn.
Exactly, yeah. So every year it's averaged out to about a 10K raise each year, yeah.
So do you feel like your spending is different after that raise, or is it like pretty much the same and you just save more now?
I think it is pretty much the same and I save more now, which is good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that is a little bit of like a an insight for like what would happen if I did make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking responsible. I love that for you.
Yeah, it started off bad, but we're getting better.
Yeah, like I feel like when I started earning more money, I just like allowed myself to like buy a bunch of shit.
I know.
Like I feel like I don't like restricting myself at
Me
all, which
neither.
is bad, toxic.
Yeah, dude, restricting yourself feels restrictive, right? All right.
It does. It feels bad. It
It
feels
feels
really
bad.
bad.
It's like why can't and then you like it's just I think the weird part about it is like the toxic-ish part maybe about it is like the feeling, right? Like feeling bad
Hmm.
about yourself that you don't buy this thing, right? It's like why
Yeah.
can't I get this? Like I worked like hard for this and like I should be able to buy this. Like I like but like if you just go like I don't really need this, you know what I mean? But like kind of leave it like that. I feel like it's like kind of like a dog when like you're leaving a dog or whatever, right? And you
Hmm.
go, You'll be okay without me, okay? Like you'll be fine, right?" And then they're like
Hmm.
crying and stuff, and then leave. Now they have like separation anxiety. Versus if you
Yeah.
just go like, "All right, I'll see you later," all right, and then you just leave, you come back, you're like, "What's up?" But you don't like. Apparently, that's better for dogs and stuff in separation anxiety. But it's like that. I feel like it's just having a healthier
Is it
relationship. Mhm.
is it better for dogs when you're like casual?
Yeah, they say that's better.
What?
Hopefully, I'm not just like messing with people who no, I swear it is like because doing that like trains them to be like, more clingy and like kind of need their owner
Aw.
more and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that in a relationship, if I want my boyfriend to be clingy,
Oh my God.
I'm just
No,
joking. I'm just joking.
I think it is though. Like right before you leave, you're like if both of you guys slowly start getting more emotional or like you'll be fine, right? And you're really like, yeah, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do while you're gone or something like that, right? Like and then that'll evolve into like as soon as you guys leave, you're like, fuck, like what do I do now? Or you're like it's like when is she getting back type of thing.
Yeah. You win $5 million.
Hmm.
What would you do with it?
All right, so tax free or like
Yeah, you have $5 million at your disposal, cash.
hmm okay for sure it doesn't matter what it is. I have to put it in something that gives me money back, whether it's like high yields savings or
Fuck yes.
just fucking like shotgunning a bunch of fucking stocks and stuff, doing my research and that,
Hmm.
and trying to grow that money, right? Because um maybe if I can do it, if I have the time, man, I might like take leave off work, you know what I'm saying, and try to like just do something with this money that I've never had. This is really weird on Marketplace since I'm there a lot. Somebody was selling a gongcha in Fremont. I don't know if you've been to like this area, but there's like a Amausan tea, matcha tea kind of thing. And there's like a
Mm.
gongcha in that plaza, but they're selling it. And it was like they just straight up put the price on Marketplace, like 72,000, right? For the
They put the price
yeah,
of the gongcha on Facebook Marketplace.
exactly. $72,000
What?
and in the description is like rent is 4K a month. I don't know if you're supposed to be just like putting that out there like that. And why
No,
Marketplace? Like what the
that's
hell?
so funny. Have you seen the episode of The Office where Michael lists his condo on Craigslist?
No, I haven't. That's so no, it
Same
sounds
vibes.
hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah, because he thinks that he's gonna move to New York for this new job offer, and he's like, okay, I'm selling my condo, and so he like lists it on Craigslist for like really cheap, and it like if someone was like interested immediately, and then he ended up not getting the job in New York, and he was like, yeah, I think I can back out of the sale,
That's
like,
really funny.
and he ended up obviously being able to back out of the sale really easily because it was just a Craigslist listing.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah,
Man,
that's
that's
hilarious.
genius. But 5 million, I might take like an indefinite leave or just like quit my job.
Indefinite.
You know what I mean?
Does indefinite
Indefinite
mean
leave.
forever?
Yeah, forever, dude. Yeah, just leave my job and try to. Oh man, I feel like I would miss it though. But yeah, I would try to figure out what I like want to do with the money and like maybe like do I invest in heavy equipment and advertising to start recording covers or something, or like go back into photography or like videography now with like way better equipment. Do I try to start a business and give that to my mom who loves cooking, maybe doesn't want to work the job she currently works, you know what I mean? And then like help out with
Mhm.
that, or like my dad, maybe like he wants to do some kind of carpentry stuff, like just kind of like just put the money out there in places where I could maybe get some of it back, or just like try to start a business or a different way of making money.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that you like brought up your parents too, because one thing I remember about you is I remember when we were younger and we were talking about like what's one thing you want to do before you die.
Mhm.
You told me, do you remember what you told me yours was?
Oh, I do. Oh my God. Wow. I hope this is almost exactly what you're thinking of, but I want to buy my dad, at what point was his dream car? It's not anymore, so I have to figure out what it is now. I think it
Hmm.
was a Range Rover, and then drive it to my dad's parking space in front of his house. And then my dad goes, it's like, wow, like nice car. It sounds as new as it yours. And I'm like, no, it's yours. And then hand him off the key.
Yes, that's exactly what you told me
Wow.
when we were younger, and that really left a mark on me because
Yeah.
first of all, my answer to that question, if you remember, I said that I wanted to do like a bungee jumping type of thing.
Did I laugh at you?
You
Okay, good,
did.
good. Nothing's changed, man.
No, because the question was, what do you want to do before you die? And I didn't realize we were being deep. I thought we were
Uh,
just being like, oh, what do you want to do? Like a bucket list thing. Like, it's not the top thing on my
that's
list,
right.
obviously. And I don't want to do that anymore. I have like a way higher sense of my own mortality now to do crazy
Gotcha.
things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but the reason I bring that up is because you're such a good son. Like I
Oh,
feel like you really care about your parents, and
yeah. I
it
had
makes you a
good
good person.
parents. And my
Yeah.
grandma too, man. My grandma was like a second one. I was blessed to have two moms in my life.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Except she kept comparing you to whoever.
Exactly. Dude, my grandma's hilarious, man. She just says like the most outlandish stuff, and then everyone around her just kind of laughs.
Yeah.
Like if you're like significant others, like, not that pretty, she's like, she's ugly. And everyone's like, Grandma, you can't say that, dude. What
Grandma's
do you,
unhinged.
she's unhinged. And so like, but no, she's
Yeah.
also very sweet when she is, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I think we see our grandmas as like these precious little like old ladies who would like
Yes.
never hurt anyone and just like are so gentle. But they've lived the longest lives
Oh
and they
man.
were wild at some point. Like,
Dude, I don't want to get into a life story here, but like very short spark note is my grandma like had five children and had to raise them by
mhm,
herself when grandpa left, and so she had to wake up at 5 in the morning, like tend to like the pigs or whatever, so that she could sell those and also like have food for the family, and then worked at the high school where my dad also was, so that was a whole freaking sitcom. I wish I had like a camera and like record that, you know what I mean? Um,
yeah.
but no, my grandma's been through, and during those times, she was like tiger mom because she had to, she had to put everyone in
Yeah.
line. All I saw growing up was the sweetest grandma ever, you know what I mean? Like none of that. So when I heard about that too, I was like, what? And like my dad, I was like, what? I was like, are we talking about the same people?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like it's crazy because, once again like we didn't know, our elders
Yeah.
before us, before we were
Yeah, it's,
alive.
it's like that old teacher that's like been old forever. And then like
Yeah.
and there's like a young picture. You're like, what?
Yeah,
You were
what? You were a
young?
whole person before me?
It's like, you weren't born old?
Like Morgan Freeman.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, while we're on this question, $5 million. So like
Hmm.
speaking, I know we talked about like high yield savings accounts, just now, and like right now, the high yield savings accounts rates are like 3%, four
Oh
percent.
wow.
Like it's really, really good. And like I just put it in my calculator. I was like, what is 3% of 5 million? And it's 150,000.
Oh, you could live
And
off 5 mil.
You could live off 5 mil
Yeah.
without actually eating into that like base like 5 mil.
Right.
You're like you're set for life. That money that you earn does get taxed. So I mean like even if you had like a $150,000 like gross salary, like
That's
after
good.
taxes, that's still like very very good. You could live
Yeah.
off that. So you'd be set if you had $5 million.
Yeah.
And the thing, I think a lot of like high yield savings accounts, like they have like limits of like $5 million
Oh, yeah,
actually.
because like we don't want to give you too much money, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
Did you hear
yeah,
about this story where like, dude, this was such a long time ago. Someone was like depositing or withdrawing money, and then there was like an error, and it gave him like the maximum like number that was allowed in their
no.
system. And so right away he tried to like, I think deposit it so that he can get like money off the interest. I think he didn't try to withdraw it or anything. It wouldn't be possible,
He
right?
should have
There's no
withdrawn it.
money in there's no money in those ATMs to like withdraw that much, obviously,
True. Fuck. Oh my
or in the
gosh.
world, but like it
Yeah.
was like 9.9 billion or something ridiculous like that. It's like the max number of like freaking coded number hex bits allowed, whatever the fuck, right? And
Hmm.
so he tried to withdraw it, and they obviously they cracked down on it and they took it out. But he didn't. I
Oh,
don't
that
think he got in trouble or
sucks.
anything because
Obviously, so it wasn't
yeah,
his mistake. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that sucks because because that kind of reminds me of how I went to the gas station like a few days ago,
Uh-huh.
and I pulled up to a pump, and it said it was like there was like a $20 credit on the screen,
Uh-huh.
and like I tried to put my card in, but it wouldn't accept it because it already had like a balance loaded, and so I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting $20 of free gas, cool.
Uh-huh.
And then some guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, I
I
think you
put it on the
used
wrong point.
I think you used this other guy's $20. I'm like, shit, there's really no such thing as a free lunch, is there?
There,
Like,
no,
god damn it.
there really isn't. Even when you get handed something, it's still not
Yeah.
free, right? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
man.
But yeah, I like your answer for this one. What's your next financial goal?
Next financial goal. This one's kind of tricky, but for sure, like having enough money to pay off the rest of student loans and save up for weddings expenses. I heard you get
Oh my
some of it
gosh.
back, right? But like in gifts and stuff. But you
Oh.
shouldn't, yeah, like you shouldn't like rely on that. But yeah, that, and then after obviously like a house, like those
Mhm.
are those are the things. It's more milestones that I want to accomplish. Yeah.
Got it. And how much do you have in loans right now?
Loans, I think I still have a lot, dude. I still have like 20K ish.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I know.
That's pretty hefty. Like, is that something that you're actively tackling right now or just like waiting?
Kind of waiting, since I guess it is like they paused the interest, right?
They did, yeah.
So if you are smart with your money, right, like this, then you should be growing the money that you have, or trying
Yeah.
to at least. This is really interesting. I didn't bring this up, but I'm really into sports and I collect cards, and so it's kind of like betting and guessing on players. But I think
Okay.
like the players that I've bet on have done really well. The one, like, just to give you an example, they're not all like this, but there was a card I bought for $330 back in 2019,
Hmm.
and I think I saw a month ago or something it sold for 3.2K.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so selling the cards isn't like super easy or something, but seeing that that's what the price or the market is for that player now is pretty nuts. So that's
Yeah.
that's I guess that's how I kind of justify like not just tackling student loans just full force,
Yeah.
because I kind of believe that I could kind of do something with the money,
Hmm.
um but there was something I was kind of curious about. It's like, what are your thoughts on like loans and stuff?
um, well, for me, I paid off my loans like immediately, like after college.
Yeah,
Um, because I was like, I fucking hate that this is like hanging over me,
yeah, yeah.
Because like, okay, at the time, like I think it just like fit into what I wanted to do with my life at the time because like I graduated college and like I wanted to move to LA and like pursue acting like right away.
Right, right.
And that didn't work out because obviously I didn't have a fucking job and like
Yeah,
I was just like trying not to think about my student loan debt
right,
and it was just like hanging over me at this time and since it was COVID, it was still paused, but I knew that it wasn't going to be paused forever.
right.
And I just knew that like that interest can really really do some like really bad damage. Like if you
Yeah,
just like
let's,
okay, the actress Gina Rodriguez, I think she was on a talk show and she didn't pay off her debt until she was like 30.
mm-hmm.
And that was because she took her sweet ass time. And like
Like the
she,
minimum or something?
yeah, like, and there was like interest
Auto
that
pay.
accumulated, and so I'm just like, holy shit, like, and so I did some calculations. I was like, okay, with this interest rate, and if I like take a, the time of like 10 years to pay off this debt, like
Hmm.
how much will I actually end up paying? And it was like,
Like 10K more or something.
yeah, it was something crazy like that. And I was like, oh, fuck no. And like, I felt this
Yeah.
like resentment towards this whole entire like education system, I guess, where it was like,
Yeah.
fuck, like you tricked me into taking out this much money when I was 18. I barely knew anything
I
about money. I
know.
barely knew what interest meant. I barely even knew like what loans meant.
Yeah.
And like, I have $27,000 in student loans. Like, I'm not giving you a single dollar more than this. And so basically when I got my job, I was like, okay, this is the first thing we're doing. This is
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of this so that I can, fully throw myself into acting without this like
Yeah.
growing like on
Yeah.
top of
Yeah.
me and like burying me.
Yeah.
And like I just wanted to get rid of it. That's how I feel about it. How do you feel about it?
It's interesting. So I had a friend in college that I kind of look up to. Both of his parents are engineers. Like he just really knows what he was doing. He was one of my best friends, or still is, but I don't really see him as much anymore. But I remember in college he told me don't ever like really buy anything in installments. Like buy it with
Mm-hmm.
cash, right? He's like
Exactly. Yeah.
cash is king and stuff. And so then like I've kind of thought about it. I was like, okay. And that's why I bought the car like 6K, like just cash, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him recently ish. And I was like, dude, remember like we talked about college and like, we talked about a lot of things. One of the things you said was like, always pay stuff off in cash. And he's like, my mind or my thoughts on that has changed since then.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because he says that, if you think you can outpace the interest of something with your investments, then do
Right.
that. 'Cause like I think he's like really good with that. And like, like stupid, but Dogecoin, right? If you were on top of that, holy shit, 40x whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you put into it, right? I think I have some friends from like high school that like literally like 20, 40x whatever the hell they put into it, and they just use it on like trips and some for savings and stuff. But
That's crazy. I mean, it's stupid, but the money wasn't stupid.
exactly. It's stupid,
Yeah.
but if you made money off of that,
That
it's
wasn't
not so dumb
stupid.
anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess my thoughts on it are it depends on how you think you are with money. If you think that you
Right.
can outpace that interest, then go for it. If you're just like magic with money, you multiply whatever the hell you have, then yeah, do it. But if not, man, just pay it off cash.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like if you think you will have better use of your money like in the time that it takes to pay off your debt, then like by
Mm-hmm.
all means, like if you have like a legitimate reason other than I just don't want to pay it all
That's
now,
true.
like
Yeah.
then by all means like go invest, make more money and then come back and kill that debt, kill that loan.
Right. Exactly.
Um yeah, and like okay, I mean cash is king, but I also like credit cards. If like if you're responsible enough
Oh,
to
for
like use
sure.
them
Yeah.
properly. Yeah. But I never spend money that I don't have actually. Like, how do you feel about credit cards?
Oh, for sure. Like how I yeah, how I keep track of stuff is like if there's anything that's in installments at all, it's like I count it as debt, like pure debt, not
Right.
something that I don't treat it as a subscription. I treat it as a like a subtraction, as a net negative. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like people do really well with like all the stuff they have, and then they buy a $30,000 car. It's like
Yeah.
kind of similar, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's still interest on it, and it's still like that. And people see it as a like 200 $300 monthly payment. I see it as like a 30K thing that you got to be ready for, or just like at least have the money for if shit hits the fan.
Yeah, holy shit. Exactly, exactly. And like with my Invisalign, like I had an option to like pay in like monthly
Hmm.
installments, but if I paid all of it up front, they were going to give me like a $300 discount. And I feel
Oh,
like I would have been an idiot to like not take that, you know?
yeah, $300, dude. What? I just
Yeah,
picked
and
that up off
so
the floor.
yeah, like I would much rather just like fucking save up the $6,000 first and then go for it, because at least I
Sure.
won't find myself at like, in like maybe 7 months from now, like what if I get laid off? What if I don't have a job anymore? Like
Yeah,
how am
exactly.
I gonna pay
Yeah,
that like $400 that month? Like who
exactly.
knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you answer for this question again? What's your next financial goal?
Oh, just like milestones, right? Wedding.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of the wedding industry, like I've seen some people like all they request for their wedding gifts is like money donations for their honeymoon, and
Mhm.
I think that's actually a really smart idea.
I think it is too, man. Weddings are expensive.
Yeah. Do you like want like a big like proper one?
Man, that's tricky. Like, I think I wanted it in the Philippines, but a destination wedding just hikes that price up so much more, you know?
But then
Like,
everything's going to be cheaper there.
yeah, but then the plane
Yeah.
tickets for all of the guests and stuff.
True. Are
Yeah.
you thinking of paying for all your guests' plane tickets?
Yeah, I think if anyone wants to, I'd probably have to do like a kind of Google Forms type of thing, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
would you be willing to pay, or would you want us to cover part of it, all of that? But, like if you wanted to be somewhere, like, I guess you shouldn't expect them to pay that ticket. But yeah, it would be everything else would be a lot cheaper, especially like with my like aunties and uncles and stuff who like do shit out there. You know what I mean? They're like freaking big out there, like to be able to hook
Yeah.
me up. But yeah, the
Fuck
plane
yeah.
ticket and housing and stuff is expansive.
Yeah, a lot of people say that like when they have destination weddings, they're like they have this attitude of like, oh, whoever, really wants to be there will be there,
Mm,
and then that'll be like, our wedding list. But it's
right.
probably different when like a lot of your wedding party is like your family, because
Yeah.
you can't really like just be like, oh, Auntie Linda doesn't want to be there, like fuck her then, like she's not part of our life,
You say Auntie
like
Linda?
yeah,
Dude,
just
I
random
have a
name.
Auntie Linda. That's
Oh, that's
that's
hilarious.
hella funny.
Yeah, but like you can't really just like shun someone if they can't like afford
Exactly.
it,
Yeah.
especially if they're family. So,
Exactly. I've
it's a
gotten
little
close
bit,
to some work people. Like I wanted to be there. It's just, dude, we did
yeah.
like a rough list just to see. Man, it's massive. It's
Really?
yeah.
Oh my god, I love that you guys put together a list. I love
It's
it
funny,
so
right?
much.
It's like, what about this guy? I don't know, man. He kind of did us dirty or something. Like it's just like hilarious.
Yeah, do you really want to like pay for dinner for like somebody who did you dirty? Like,
Exactly. So I think what it's coming down to is like there's probably gonna be two-ish, maybe. Like one out here, it's like the easiest for everybody, and then maybe one in the Philippines
yeah,
for
like
like
with that's more intimate or whatever.
exactly people who want to come, or it's like seems more optional, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds really nice though. Like going to the Philippines for a wedding and then just like getting to chill there. Like
Exactly, dude. And it's
that sounds
just,
amazing.
I just, it'd just be so fun. I feel like for all my friends, to be at a place where like I grew up and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what age did you come here again?
Crap. How do you do math? So okay, so 12th grade, I was 17. So plus 5, I was in third grade. So probably like 8.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that about you. Like I didn't realize that you spent so much time over there.
Yeah. So I was kind of back and forth, but I was mainly out there. Um, I stayed with my grandma kind of while my mom and dad was figuring it out. This is random, but I guess a little bit more context to this podcast is like my parents kind of started off in poverty because they were kind of like the first ones here, kind of.
Mm.
Um, and so we lived in an apartment where it didn't have bathrooms. How the hell is that possible?
Oh
Now,
my god.
now I'm a plumbing engineer, right? The irony.
Mm-hmm. Irony.
And so, but I was too young to see that part. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get to. I was way too young. I was like 1 or 2 years old. But then, yeah, when I was like young, I went with my grandma home while my mom and dad kind of just figured everything out. So they don't need a babysitter or anything. And then when I came back in like 03, 04, they had a house. And
Oh wow.
so yeah, exactly. So I spent a lot of time in the Philippines, but sometimes here every now and then. And I went to like 6 different elementary schools.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was that hard being away from your parents so much?
I think I was too young to know, but I
Mm-hmm.
think as I was getting older and stuff, when my dad would visit the Philippines, like it was like a really happy time for me to see him again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then how was that like switching elementary school so often?
Oh man, it's really weird. Like so the new kid kind of thing is like you're popular because you're a new kid. It's literally for
That's
no other
right.
else other than you're
Then you're
new.
new. If you're a
Exactly.
girl, you're hot. All the guys
Exactly.
want to talk to you.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to be your friend.
Exactly. You're like, who the hell is this person? No, but on top of that, like I drew a lot. Now I don't draw anymore. And I don't like I'm a fucking shit artist, like especially talking to you and like your sister, what you guys do,
Stop.
man. But for my time, I was really good for my time in like third grade, first grade, second grade, and so I would draw stuff for people to the point where like the teachers would get mad at me because everyone's just like not paying attention to
Obsessed.
the yeah
Yeah.
exactly and then I would like kind of bring toys to school, but there was like weird kind of culture shock stuff every now and then, like what you can and
Mm.
can't do in school. It was a weird time, but in some places like I was kind of like, loved by most of them. Some like there's a few bullies that didn't like me, but
Mm.
it was weird. It was a weird time, but I think I learned a lot.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to ask you more about that sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you allow yourself to spend a lot of money on?
Man, that is tough. I'm hearing my dad's voice in my head. If you need
If you
it,
need
buy
it, just buy
it.
it.
Exactly. Um, I think hobbies. I don't.
Yeah.
I think hobbies is kind of just like what makes me happy, like outside of like work when I'm like stressed out and just trying my best to fulfill my responsibilities and stuff. So, I think the basis of it is like, will it bring me joy for how long? And
Mm-hmm.
like is this something that kind of holds value too, I think is another part of it, is like like when I was watching like car stuff, this guy buys like expensive cars, but he's like, because this is like a vintage car or whatever, like I could drive it for this much, sell it for this much, and then
Mm.
like if I sold it for the same amount, then I didn't really spend money on it, you know what I mean? Whereas if you buy something brand new 50K, drive it off the lot, it's already down like 5K or something, and then you use it 100,000 miles, is down to 20K. Well, you just spent, in addition to whatever you spent on it, like 30K just to drive the car, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how does this item hold value? I think it's kind of a weird answer to this, but it's just like all of those factors. And it's like, if those things are fulfilled, or I have like a understanding of that, then I'm okay with spending money on something that's kind of expensive.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And like it really sounds like you really think through all your purchases, which explains why you don't regret anything.
Exactly. Yeah, just too much shit now, but I really don't though.
Okay, so I want to know, what are you really cheap with?
Dude, that's interesting. I'm like the way I kind of am as a person is like all or nothing also, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm
0 or
also
100.
exactly 0 100. So I feel like with this question, it's the same thing. It's like if there's something I want, like 100. If it's something I don't want, it's zero. I won't buy the
Mm-hmm.
cheapest version of it. I won't do anything like so. God, what am I cheap on? I think one thing I'm cheap on, I guess I'm not really cheap on anything, I just don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Is like food that I can make, because I'm pretty
Mm.
pretty good at cooking. So if it's something like a cheap steak or something, right? Like
Nice.
like I was like, I'm not gonna buy that because like I can't answer what am I cheap with. I might have to sit on that one, but like what do
Yeah, no,
I
that's
guess
a
what
good
is
answer. Like
yeah, like
not eating out on things that you can make.
yeah, so I guess I'm kind of cheap with that because it's like I'm not gonna give you that much money for something that I could make a better steak than you. I'm not doing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm guessing you haven't been to Chili's in a really long time.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I will like not I don't like going to Italian restaurants because I feel like Italian food and flavors are really easy to replicate at home.
Oh man,
Like
yeah.
you have a pasta jar, you have some Parmesan cheese, you have some Barilla noodles,
Hmm.
and like it tastes like the same as like restaurant spaghetti. And
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I don't really want to pay like $25 for the spaghetti, and then have to tip like an exorbitant amount
Yeah,
because, food service workers don't get paid enough.
for sure.
And so, yeah, like, yeah, I totally get you on that.
I think um the one thing that I would want to go to, man, if you have any Italian viewers, they're probably furious right now, like waving their
Sorry.
hands in the air. But for sure, what I want to try is like, I think what I would like, it's like high effort, is like pot, like lasagna, like with like a fresh pasta, not the stuff you just boil, but like
Oh,
handmade
like it's like
pasta.
soft.
Yeah, like where they're like, like they make it, they knead it, and then they roll
Yes.
it, and then they put years
Yes.
of love and effort into each thing
Mm-hmm.
that goes into them. Like, there's no way in hell I have the patience to make that. I would pay good money for that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, for me, like when I eat out, I prefer to eat like Asian food because I find Asian food really hard to make
That's
sometimes.
that's
Like
true. Yeah.
with pho, like I'm not going to put in the effort to make a bowl of pho. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy a $13 bowl of pho. Like
Yeah.
thank you
Because
very
are you
much.
gonna boil? You're boiling it for 12 hours, dude. Like,
Seriously.
Jesus.
Yeah, dead ass. And then like with sushi, like I will not like I don't have the patience to like roll my own sushi and like
Yeah.
find like the sushi grade raw fish and like go to the sushi market.
Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm just gonna pay the $30 for my one and a
Yeah.
half roll of sushi.
Exactly. Yeah. What's your go-to roll?
Um, I oh my god, I love the 49er roll. It's like the salmon with like the little slice of lemon.
Oh, I've never had that.
It is so refreshing. Next time you go to a sushi place, try it. It's like you never think that, lemon on salmon like would taste so good, but it does. I
What
really like it.
what like lemon zest or like lemon?
No, it's like really thinly sliced pieces
Oh,
of
wow.
lemon, like with the
Interesting.
skin and everything.
Yeah, interesting.
And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And there are a few other things that I like. Like I've been really liking the rainbow roll recently, just because you get like, all the different flavors,
Right, right.
and colors and stuff. Like tuna, ahi tuna. Like oh my god, I'm horny for ahi tuna. Like I
Dude,
love that
have you
shit.
been to Hawaii?
No, but I
Their
think
tuna is, oh my God. I
yeah.
wasn't a tuna person before Hawaii, and then after Hawaii, it's like all I get now. Holy hell, it's so good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I think we're supposed to go like later this year, but we'll see.
Oh, dude, like they have poke and like groceries, like their Safeway equivalent, like Foodland, dude. Oh my God, their poke is like the best. I
Oh
don't
my god.
understand.
I love poke so so much. Holy shit. What would you do with your life if money wasn't an issue? Would you still work? Probably not, right?
Probably not. I think it's similar to number nine.
Yeah.
I would be like a really, really tiny version of Mr. Beast. You
Oh
know,
my gosh, I love that. I love Mr. Beast.
he is incredible. The
I
hate he
really hope
gets,
he's not a jerk in real life though.
oh,
I
me
really hope
too.
he's
Me
not.
too.
Yeah.
The hate he gets online is incredible. They're like,
Really? What are people
he's like
saying? I
he's like
haven't seen
he's
any.
like pocketing it and he's pocketing the money and stuff. And like he usually doesn't respond. He responded. He's like everything I do like goes straight towards what's it called? Wow, I'm blanking on the word.
Charity?
Yeah, it all goes towards charity, and I think he like showed kind of where it was going to, and then he's like the things the money that doesn't go to charity, it goes towards like funding like my
His insane videos?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's a video on it where it's like basically he did something like how he started on YouTube was where he was just like, how high can I count or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, and it was just like hours and hours
Yeah.
long.
And so that doesn't take talent, he's not like that
Yeah.
doesn't take like 20,000 hours of playing flamenco on a acoustical guitar and
Hmm.
showcasing it to the world. That's just someone who really fucking wanted something. And then he's
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna do this any way possible. I will get views, I will make money. And then like eventually like he got that money, put all of it back into his videos and
Hmm.
kept doing this. And then eventually he had to do something that I think people are speculating he didn't want to do. It's put it like into people who will do what he was doing for him, right?
Hmm.
Like he doesn't want to, because like as a creator and as a creative person, like he probably wants like all the say in what he wants to do, but he had to relinquish those duties just so he can fry bigger fish. And now he just has this model that just like makes money, puts it back into it, and spits out more money than he put into
Yeah.
it. And people have the nerve to be like, dude, oh my God, this guy's so dumb. He's like real people who like actually care don't make videos. I'm like, you idiot. That's how he makes the money. It's a
Yeah,
perfect circle.
seriously.
What are you talking about? Anyways,
It is. Like, did you see his Squid Game video?
I did not,
Like,
but it's one of the highest, like it had more views than the actual
yeah,
show, right?
I don't know about that, but like that was fucking insane. Like the amount of money that must have gone into that entire production is insane. And then like you always see videos of him like just like giving people houses and like giving people
Exactly.
$10,000 for like nothing.
People are
And
just
like
jealous and don't believe that something. Okay, so I just looked it up. Squid Game views is back in 2021 was October 2021, 111 million viewers. So there might
mhm.
be a little more now, but his video got 390 million.
Ooh, yeah, that's crazy.
Incredible.
Holy shit. Yeah. So a mini version of Mr. Beast then.
Yeah, yeah, like by many, I mean like a fraction of a percent. But I guess in terms of trying to fix the world, fixing like the people, not fixing, but helping the people
Fixing.
around me, right? Yeah, fixing. I can't fix people. I can kind of like help the people or just contribute to what
Yeah.
they're already doing, right? Like I said, like I think it'll be similar to what I was my answer was for the 5 million. Just kind of like maybe giving my dad something like that he kind of enjoys instead of like he works for the post office and the exercise is great, like being in the sun or rain all the time, walking for 12 fucking hours. His calves are massive, but he's just so exhausted. And a lot of the weeks he gets 1 day off, just
Hmm.
Sunday. And so to give him something that like where he works with his hands or maybe like has a little business, I think he would really enjoy. My mom is an amazing chef, just having if money wasn't an issue, I would just do that. And then also for myself, yeah, just find which hobby I love the most and just roll with it or something.
Yeah, definitely. I love the little bit of philanthropy, little bit of like, giving people that you love the
Yeah.
things that they want and just more life fulfillment. Yeah, awesome. Well, that brings us to our last question. What do you wish you could tell your younger self about money?
Man, I would just kind of give him a crystal ball of what I'm doing now. Just be like, dude, you need to budget, man. That's the key thing. Even that, oh God, I wish I knew his name. This is so bad. You know that bald guy that has his own podcast about money and stuff, and like he helps people
Joe
with money.
Rogan?
No, not Joe Rogan.
It's not a financial podcast, is it?
Financial podcast. Hold on, hold on.
No, who is it?
He's the it's
Bald guy.
oh, here it is. Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
Dude, the
oh, actually,
greatest.
he's pretty controversial.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, there are some people who don't like really agree with what he preaches, but I actually don't know too much about him personally.
Yeah, I think I just watched a few and I was inspired more than anything. I guess don't follow it like word for word. I mean, that should go for everything in life, but like the budgeting part of it, I was like, yeah, man, like that makes sense. And then like
Facts.
yeah, and he was like not roasting, but he was kind of getting on like people. I think my favorite was like people who would go on the show and talk about their debt and stuff. And
Hmm.
so there was like a couple or something like that. I was like, one's a lawyer, one's a doctor, and they're in massive amounts of debt, right? And
Oh
then
my god.
he's
Uh-huh.
Dave is like, you're spending too much. Like, there's
Hmm.
no reason you should like both of you should be making that much money and be in this amount of debt. I forgot the debt, but it
Hmm.
was really high. And that goes
Hmm.
into the thing you said, like where like you make more money, you spend a lot more. And so he just had to like kind of teach him
Inflation. Yeah.
exactly. What's it called? Inflation,
Lifestyle inflation.
lifestyle inflation. So yeah, he had to like kind of teach him how to budget and stuff. And then there's a lot of success stories. So
Yeah, I think I actually I think I saw that one with the doctor and the nurse, right?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think I saw that one. That's crazy though, because sometimes you just let the lifestyle inflation get out of your hands. Apparently.
Exactly. And budgeting is just so key, man. However, you want to keep track of it with, like a literal notebook or something if you want to get that prehistoric. But,
Hmm.
spreadsheets are so accessible, man. It's crazy. You could have it on your phone, on your laptop. It could be as simple as addition and subtraction. You know what I mean? And then yeah, I would tell my younger self about that and like the tools and stuff to be better about saving money and just understanding how money works.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Would he listen to you? You think?
I would hope so. Shit.
Yeah. He'd probably see like an older version of him and like freak the fuck out, just be
Exactly.
like,
I
"Oh
think
my
he
god."
I think he'd square up. Like, I don't know, you heard this. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of this list of questions.
man,
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Jason,
are we
for
about to
hopping on the
die
podcast.
after this?
This brings us to
Brings
the
us to
end,
our
at the
end.
very
Yeah.
end.
I turn around, you're behind me. I'm like, yo, what
No, but thank you, Jason, for hopping on and being so open about everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you had a good time on this podcast because I did.
I had a great time. Yeah, I hope the people that watch this get something out of this and can apply that to their lives and hopefully don't have to wait for something bad to happen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.